Breaking news here on Ravens Rundown. The Baltimore Ravens have signed former All-Pro return man and wide receiver Deonte Harty to a one-year deal. Welcome into the show. Tyler Jones here with you for the second time today as we bring you reaction to this news of the latest roster move from the Baltimore Ravens. I got to tell you, just kind of off the top, before we dive in and get into the details of this, I'm intrigued by this because of the new kickoff rules, and we'll go over those in just a bit too. The kick return is back in the National Football League. And I mean by back, like back to being very important, right? Not just a throwaway play of sorts. It is going to be crucial for special teams to make an impact through the return game. And now you see the Ravens. Remember, you moved on from Devin Duvernay a few weeks ago. Now you essentially have his replacement, and you're investing in that position to make an impact to get you what might result in an extra touchdown or a couple more first downs, make life easier on your offense. I like this a lot. We'll explain more here in just a moment. Before we do, folks, this is why you subscribe to Ravens Rundown for the latest happenings on your favorite team. Anytime they make a signing, any addition of some sorts, we bring you a video as quick as we can here on the channel. The latest happenings on your favorite team all season long. We're talking free agency, trades, the draft, all of it. It's in one place here on the channel. Subscribe now, never miss a moment. This is why you subscribe to Ravens Rundown, youtube.com/RavensTV. Let's go over the numbers on Deontay Hardy. As you can see, when it comes to his impact as a receiver, his best year was back in 2021 when he had close to 600 yards receiving, 3 touchdowns, about 16 yards reception. I don't think the Ravens are going to be using him too much when it comes to being a receiver. We know that the Ravens have done their homework, that they've talked to some veteran receivers out there. There's the possibility of them drafting a receiver. Deontay Harty, I would guess, as of right now, his role is not going to be much of a receiver. But when it comes to the return game, he is going to be the guy, all right? I mean, you do have Tylan Wallace there, and you do have Justice Hill, but Deontay Harty is going to be your number one option. And I mentioned that we're going to show you the new kickoff stuff and go over that in detail just a bit. You have to have 2 guys back there for the kick return to be effective. So you'll have Harty out there. You'll have Tylan Wallace or Justice Hill, whatever. But Hardy's going to be the guy leading the way. You look at these statistics throughout his career. I mean, over 1,000 punt return yards on 100 punt returns. So that's a pretty decent average. Kick returns, he's got 76 and close to 2,000 yards in kick returns. So pretty good number there. And 2 touchdowns as well. And All-Pro. I mean, it's no joke that Deontay Harty is very good at the job that he's going to be asked to do for the Baltimore Ravens here. How would you grade the signing? I'll give you my grade here in just a second. But as you can already tell, I like this for the Baltimore Ravens. Something that's not going to cost them a ton either, and for a very effective role. We already know what the Ravens have done when it comes to investing in special teams. They invest in it as much or more than anyone in the National Football League, with the best kicker in Justin Tucker, with a really good punter in Jordan Stout. And now you're going all in the return game. I love this. Grade the signing. Let us know in the comment section below. My grade's an A for the multitude of reasons, right? Former All-Pro, guy that's not going to cost you too much, and you're investing in a position that is of much greater need and importance than it's been in the past. And I'll say this, when it comes to the receiver room, although Harty isn't that great when it comes to being a receiver, you needed bodies at the very least. Prior to this signing, you only had 3 receivers on the roster right now with Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, and Nelson Aguilar. Now, help is on the way. You will add more guys, but you at least needed pieces at the very least, and Harty is a depth piece as far as that goes. So then the next question becomes, with these new kickoff rules, is Harty going to dominate with his role and what's going to be asked of him with the Baltimore Ravens? We'll explain. We'll go over the kickoff rules and all that here in just a moment. Let's start with the new kickoff rules. This is straight from the National Football League directly. We'll read as follows. Under the new rule, 10 players on the kicking team and at least 9 players on the receiving team will line up just 5 yards apart and won't begin running until the ball gets back to the returner, meaning players won't be going full speed when they crash into each other, which caused so many injuries on kickoffs in years past. Of the 22 players on the field, only the kicker and 1 or 2 kickoff returners will line up separately from those players who are 5 yards apart. The kicker will kick the ball from his own 35-yard line. 10 of his teammates will line up on the other team's 40-yard line. The receiving team's 9 or 10 blockers will line up on their own 35-yard line. The kick must land between the 20-yard line and the goal line, and the kick that either goes out of bounds or lands short of the 20 will be awarded to the receiving team at the 40-yard line. A kick that goes into the end zone for a touchback will go out to the receiving team's 30-yard line. So I know that was a mouthful. Maybe you're somebody that's a visual learner. That's where we have pictures for you to get you a glance at what we're talking about here. So to kind of give you the origin story of this new hybrid kickoff, if you recall back in 2020 when Vince McMahon brought back the XFL Football League, he hired Dean Blandino of Fox Sports, the rules analyst and former ref in the National Football League. And Blandino came up with this hybrid kickoff concept, which has been very successful in the XFL and now used in the UFL. McMahon, of course, is gone now. You got The Rock and Fox Sports running things for that league. But what they've seen with this hybrid kickoff is that not only is it much safer because you don't have guys running 40 yards down the field full steam ahead, but also it's brought back the excitement to the kickoff, that they're seeing the kickoff be a much bigger role for these teams when it comes to exciting plays and getting touchdowns. They're more likely to happen under this kickoff structure as opposed to the previous kickoff structure. So bringing in a guy like Hardy here will play a significant role and could be the difference in a win or a loss potentially based on how much you take advantage of the kickoff return. So I think it's a very good signing and timing-wise very effective for this kickoff rule situation. So I want to know, is Hardy going to score a touchdown on special teams in 2024? I sure hope so. What do you guys think? Y for yes, N for no way in the comment section. Let us know what you think. The man taking over the internet these days, Sketch, has put it best. Special teams, special plays, special players. I don't do a great impression of that. That's not my thing. But you get the idea. Special teams, it's 1/3 of the game, right? Very important. And a guy like Hardy here, like we mentioned, not a great receiver by any stretch of the imagination, but will play a significant role for this Ravens team. I like the signing, makes a lot of sense, and you take care of business. This is something that needed to be done, and even if, let's just say this, I know Tylan Wallace had that punt return touchdown last year, and that was great that he did that. And Justice Hill, of course, has some pretty decent experience in the special teams game. But when you factor in injuries, and then also the fact that Tylan Wallace and as well as Justice Hill are going to play a significant role when it comes to the offense, they're going to need to take some plays off. They're not going to be able to be on special teams every single snap. Deontay Hardy can be on special teams every single snap. So I like it for the Baltimore Ravens. What do you guys think? Let me know. Appreciate you joining us here on this special breaking news edition of Ravens Rundown as Deontay Hardy is headed to the Baltimore Ravens. For more Ravens coverage, subscribe to the channel. Lock us in. Anytime there's going to be any signings like this, we're going to bring you a video here on the channel. Subscribe now for free, and we'll see you next time.